Hi, welcome to Mathematics Applied. My name is Parthiban and here I am with the story of physics for standard 12. Chapter 1 Electric Charges and Fields. Continuing my last episode where I finished saying that extra electrons are possible but extra protons are not possible. I will elaborate that here in this episode. Extra electrons. What do we understand by that? Extra electrons means you have some more electrons. What is that some more electrons? Means whatever electrons are there with you and whatever number of protons are there with you. If you have electrons, then you will have protons as well because they are part of atoms, and atoms are the basic building blocks of every object, everything, right, around us. So if you take a small object, it will have same number of electrons and same number of protons, same number of electrons and protons, right? So extra electrons means some more electrons. Let's say it has 10 electrons and 10 protons. Now extra electrons means you bring 3 more electrons from outside. Is it possible? We have seen that by rubbing two bodies we create charges, right? The body becomes charged. That is the jumping of electrons. Electrons jump from one place to another place, right? That's why charges are created. Extra protons, if I am saying extra electrons, means 3 more electrons. Like that, extra protons would mean 3 more electrons, 3 more protons, sorry, positively charged, 3 more protons. If I say extra protons, that would mean something like that. You bring in some more protons. Is that possible? That is not possible. Okay, because proton is shielded. It is inside a nucleus. It is inside a safe room, right? Like where neutrons and protons, both of them reside. So we will not be able to remove the protons from that place. Just by rubbing two bodies, it is not possible. It is possible. Protons can come out. Okay. There are something called nuclear reactions. Nuclear reactions, where the nucleus reacts, right? There are going to be particles from the nucleus which are going to participate in the reaction. That means they are coming out, they are going inside, something like that. It is happening. But just by rubbing, it is not possible. If you rub two bodies, protons are never going to come out of the nucleus. Okay, only the electrons can move from one place to another. So that's why I said extra electrons, but extra protons are not possible. Just by moving the electrons from one place to another, we can create that illusion of extra protons, right? Now, take for example, there are 10 electrons and 10 protons in an object. You are having that object and you just rubbed that object with another object where exchange of electrons happened. Exchange of electrons are only possible because electrons are the particles which are freely available in an atom, loosely in connection with the nucleus. Okay, so when we rub an object, electrons, the outermost orbit electrons, you would have known what an atomic structure is. There is a nucleus at the middle of the atom and there are electrons revolving around. So electrons revolve. There are distribution of electrons. If an atom consists of some huge number of electrons, those electrons have been distributed at different energy levels. We have energy levels which are called orbits. In every orbit you would have some limited number of electrons. Like that, the outermost orbit is going to carry some electrons. Those electrons are easily available to move outside. If by rubbing, what happens? These electrons move out. If they move out, then some electrons have moved out. Electrons have moved out, right? So what happens if 10 electrons and 10 protons are there? 3 electrons have moved out. What happens now? 7 electrons remain. This 7 electron neutralizes the 7 protons, right? electrically neutralizes the 7 protons. So 7 plus 7 minus 7, it is 0. Now there is no charge, but there are some extra protons. That is the illusion. This is what I was talking as illusion. The electron has moved out, therefore you have these 3 extra protons. So extra protons are created by the movement of electrons only, not by the movement of protons. Have not come in. 3 protons didn't come in. It was there inside. Because 3 electrons have gone out, so it gets a 3 plus charge. So 3 plus, that means every plus is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Consider that as 1 unit. So let's say 3 plus, 3 plus units. Now if 10 electrons and 10 protons are there, 3 electrons has come inside, then there are going to be 3 extra electrons here. In the previous case it was 3 extra protons, but now it is 3 extra electrons. 13 electrons and 10 protons. So 10 protons and 10 electrons neutralize each other, and this 3 electrons which has come in gives it a 3 minus charge. Again, consider that 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 as 1 unit, right? And that is 3 minus charge. That's why you might have seen the sodium atom. It consists of 11 protons and 11 electrons, right? So outermost orbit has, its configuration is like 2, 8, 1, right? So outermost orbit has 1 electron, and that 1 electron, when it moves out, because it's an alkali metal, it's capable of losing electron rather than gaining electron to get the octet, right? Complete octet. Outermost orbit should have 8 electrons, so that is more easy for it to lose 1 electron rather than gaining 7 electrons and getting that octet. It can lose 1 electron and become that 2-8 configuration. Outermost orbit can get 8 electrons. For that, if it loses 1 electron, then it becomes 1 Na plus ion, right? You might know that, Na plus ion. Similarly here, because electrons move out, they get positively charged, and when electrons come in, they get negatively charged. Body gets negatively charged. This is how that plus and minus charges get in. These charges are static. Right now we are just talking about static charges. It is electrostatics. Charges are the state of rest. Okay, whenever the charge is there on the body, what happens to the charge? Like where is it? Where is the charge? The charge is all over the body, right? It is uniformly distributed over the body, so it will have that charge. That is it for this episode. I'll continue with the next topic in the next episode, which is about properties of charge. Now you know that charge is there on the body. What are the properties of charges? We'll talk about it in the next episode. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.